Hi, this week's been quite an interesting week. I got a haircut and I also read a brand new manga. That manga was Sakamoto Days and today I wanted to talk about it. But before I do that, if Sakamoto Days interests you, please head down to my links down below for Forbidden Planet, Right Stuff and Book Depository where you can get a copy of it for yourself or you can get any manga that they sell. It really helps out the channel and I would appreciate it a bunch. Thank you. Let's get into the first impressions. Normally this is the part where I show the manga in my hand, but it's actually in the other room and I can't be bothered to go and get it. Sakamoto Days is a brand new Shonen Jump series that follows the main character Sakamoto and his life as a store clerk, living with his family, just living the normal life. But it wasn't always this way. Sakamoto actually used to be the world's most renowned hitman. He worked for a syndicate of assassins and he was pretty freaking good at it. He used to be this extremely dangerous man and then he fell in love with his now wife and they had a child and he ran away to live the normal life. Sakamoto made a vow to never kill anyone again. He promised this to his wife and the punishment for breaking that vow is divorce. So it's pretty important to Sakamoto that he follows this rule. And the story itself, after the first volume at least, seems to be following a villain of the week type style where Sakamoto is going to come up against all of these hitmen and assassins that have been tasked with killing him for his betrayal to the syndicate that he worked for. But we only really see that at the end of the first volume. That seems to be something the series is going to go further into, but today we're just talking about the first impressions of volume 1. We're introduced to 5 main characters here, the first one obviously being Sakamoto. When he was in his prime, he was this super strong, dangerous assassin, but he's now gotten overweight, a little bit old, and he's got all of those classic quirks of a rundown man. He's got the backache, the neck ache, the cracking knuckles, you know the gist. But he's still kept a hold of all of his skills, and that's something I'm going to talk about in a second. We've also got Sakamoto's wife and his daughter Hana. And then the 2 main characters that are going to accompany Sakamoto in his adventures, Shin and Lu. Now Shin is a telepath, he can read people's minds, and this is perfect for Sakamoto since Sakamoto is always thinking about how he wants to kill people and also about keeping his identity a secret. So they often converse telepathically. And then Lu is a character that's introduced about halfway through the first volume and she's actually part of a Chinese syndicate. She's run away from them. She's from a really impressive crime family and she's now just working in the store with Sakamoto and Shin. Now we've got the characters out of the way, let's talk about the bulk of this volume of the manga. And the main thing that this manga focuses on is the comedy. At its core, this is a comedy series. It does have little bits of action in it, but it's mainly a funny series. One of the main things that Sakamoto Days does to encapsulate its comedy is show this juxtaposition to what we would normally see in gangster / crime thrillers and that sort of genre of media. It's very oppositely violent. We've got a character who's sworn not to kill anyone, so he has to think of inventive ways to take down his enemies, all of which are non-violent. Non-violent? They're non-lethal, sorry, they're definitely violent. So while there's a lot of blood and gore in this, it's all done with like normal menial objects, no one's actually dying, and I thought that was a really interesting take and it makes for some really impressive funny scenes. And we've also got this comparison of Sakamoto, who was once this renowned hitman but still retains all of those skills even though he's given up that life. And he is an absolutely awesome fighter. We get some really cool fight scenes of him taking down multiple men, or we get these really cool moments where he just off the whim knows how to react to a moment instantaneously. There's no thought needed. And even though he is really good at dealing with these people, it always leaves him tired and run down because he is old. He is run down. He's not in the business anymore. And I think this is really funny to see him take down like 50 men and then he's just sitting there like out of breath. I just find that really funny. And then another thing that I really enjoyed about this manga volume is that even though he's given up killing, it's obviously so ingrained in his brain that he thinks about it all the time. And because Shin is telepathic, he can actually tell when Sakamoto is thinking about killing people. And it always pops up in like thought bubbles. And it's just a really great way of conveying that this guy thinks this way, he just doesn't act upon it. And I just found that really funny. I think I've said that line twice. Yes, Leon, professional YouTuber. I did want to touch very briefly on the art in this volume because I had a weird feeling about the art that I wanted to speak about. Now, the art to me isn't really reminiscent of any Shonen Jump titles that are airing currently or have aired in the last couple of years that I've read. It seems a little bit more old schooly, and I don't know the best way to describe that, but it's a little bit more reminiscent of something like Yu Yu Hakusho than it is of Demon Slayer. And I really enjoyed that. It fits the tone perfectly. This seems like a much more laid back series, a much more like classic sort of vibe, and the art lends to that. I thought the tracking of the art during the fight sequences was also really good. It was definitely snappy and to the point, and I didn't feel throughout this volume like I was getting lost in Sakamoto's moves, which is really important when this guy is like some next ninja who's just out here killing bare people, but he's not killing because remember, he doesn't do that anymore. And yeah, after finishing volume 1, I really can't say that I had any downsides about this series. I really freaking enjoyed volume 1. It was an absolute banger of a first volume. I can't wait to read some more. So, have you guys read Sakamoto Days Volume 1? And if so, what did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you haven't read it yet, then you probably shouldn't have watched this video. My bad. If you want to pick up Sakamoto Days, or you want to get any other manga releases that are coming out in the next couple of months, or anything that's already out to add to a collection like this, then you can go down to the links down below. And if you use them, it helps me out a lot. All of the money that is being earned through there is coming straight back into the channel for new equipment, new camera, microphone stands, everything, awesome stuff like that, and making really great content for you guys. I've got some banging videos coming up that I'm really excited to show you. And if you want to see those, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You'll get a little notification next time I upload. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.